Yo people, what's going on? It's the Ghetto Hippie here, and I thought it'd be really good to make a video kind of in my medical journey series of just talking about how I stopped smoking tobacco and using any nicotine products, so stopped smoking cigarettes and stopped adding any tobacco into the joints I was rolling. So I'd probably like to start off by saying that I completely understand the kind of connotation with tobacco and the UK culture. So I grew up thinking that you needed to have tobacco in all of your joints for them to actually burn properly, for them to smoke properly. And on this journey, it's kind of made me realize a couple of things. One of those main things being that you can smoke a joint with just straight flower and smoke completely and beautifully fine, and the reason that it wouldn't smoke very well is usually because of the quality of the flower that you have in the first place. And that's kind of one of the downsides, or one of the first main downsides to stopping smoking tobacco in the first place, is that you will start to realize how shit most, or how bad quality of the bud is that you will get from just your local general plug, and you will realize that really fast. So I've actually recently got some flower from my plug who I was going for about 10 years, and the last time I smoked this was probably when I was smoking with tobacco. I haven't got anything from him after that, just because I tried it without any tobacco in it, and it was just smoking straight black ash, and it was fucking horrible. It was just smoking straight black ash, and it was really horrible. So I just thought, let's not do that again. Let's start getting some good bud, and that's kind of what led me on the journey here to start reviewing bud, and also the affordable ash review series, to start showing people that you can get some affordable bud that is also really good quality as well, or kind of just trying to find some good quality affordable bud myself. But let's start this video on step one, how I kind of quit the nicotine and tobacco habit. So to give you some backstory, I've been smoking cigarettes since I was about 13 years old, which is really young, and I've been smoking weed, or cannabis, probably since I was about 15, 16 years old, consistently every single day. And yes, when I was smoking these times, well, the cannabis times, I would probably say it's more recreational than medical. I wouldn't advise anybody below the age of 18 to be smoking cannabis, especially every single day. So I was a person who enjoyed cigarettes. I enjoyed the taste of them, I enjoyed smoking them, I actually enjoyed rolling them, so that was my go-to. I was a loose tobacco user, coming in pouches like these. Well, a few years ago they used to come in coloured packs, but laws have changed of course, so it's all these brown packs. And what made me kind of take the first step in stopping smoking was getting with my now current partner, who just didn't smoke at all, and she didn't really like the idea of smoking. She didn't mind smoking cannabis. She understood why I smoked cannabis in the first place. It was kind of for my anxiety and depression, and just kind of my mood in general. But she didn't like the idea of me smoking cigarettes, so I thought, you know what, this is a good time to quit the habit. I was starting to feel like it was affecting my health, my breathing, so I thought, you know, it's the time. I'm getting a bit old. I was 26 at the time. Let me, start this journey and quitting. And to start that journey, I moved on to one of these bad boys, a handheld vape. It has a battery in the back. Luckily this one has a removable top, so if you do drop it, that top just comes off and it can be replaced. And the reason I moved on to one of these instead of the disposable vapes you can get is to control the nicotine percentage that you actually put into it. Most of the disposable vapes that you will get are set at 2% or 20 milligrams of nicotine. Some are 10 milligrams, but most of them are 20 milligrams of nicotine, which is a lot of nicotine. You're not really getting that in the amount of cigarettes I was smoking. I wasn't a chain smoker. I was probably smoking about 5 to 10 a day, so I didn't feel the need to have 20 milligrams of nicotine, especially in a vape. I know how you smoke vapes. I've been smoking vapes for a while before then as well, and you just kind of keep consistently smoking on them because they taste really good, so why wouldn't you? And the same thing is, when you smoke a cigarette will finish at a point, it will come at the end. With a vape, you literally just have to fill it up. So the good thing and bad thing with vapes is that they come in all different flavors, or should I say you can get liquids in all different flavors. See here, I've got a banana one, a jam donut one, and a strawberry banana one. Which is a good thing. It's kind of like if you're going to quit smoking, you want to find something that tastes nice that you can change to, but it's also a really negative thing because the sweetness can get addictive, and also they have sweeteners in it, which is terrible for your teeth. They have sweeteners in it, so yeah, just not a really good thing. But the one positive about this was that I could put my own nicotine in this. So I started at about 6 milligrams of nicotine, and I moved it down to 3, and then moved it down to 1.5 until I was ready, or I thought I was ready to completely quit. But what happened was I realized that I still needed well, not even needed, but because I had moved this down so much, what was happening in return was then I started to smoke a lot more weed, because it was getting my dose of nicotine up to that level, because I was adding the nicotine into my joints. So I knew I needed to get to a way or replace that nicotine in my joints with something, or that tobacco in my joints with something. So the next step for me on that journey was cutting down on the habit, so trying to get rid of the vaping habit of it, but also trying to find an alternative that I could mix my joints with, because I'm still under the impression that you need something in your joints to mix it with, otherwise you're going to be, using a lot more weed than you usually do. So yeah, and the next step into that was actually these things. So nicotine pouches. Again, I kind of like the ideas of these because you can get them in different milligrams. The ones, when I was first introduced to these, it was actually from somebody from Sweden, so they gave me something that was like 20 or 50 milligrams, which was just way too strong. It makes your mouth feel like it's gonna burn a hole through it. So these are actually 9 milligrams ones. Yeah, so these are actually 9 milligram pouches, and my theory with getting a slightly stronger pouch was that I could probably just use a lot less of these throughout the day. I can have one in my gum, use a lot less than me consistently vaping for the whole day. So I would just use these like once or twice a day, once in the morning sort of thing. But again, these aren't very good for you. They can be very addictive, of course. They're nicotine substance, but also they're not good for your mouth health, and that was something I wanted to improve on as well. So one of the big steps that I had to take was trying to find an alternative to kind of mixed into my joints. And I tried, I probably won't say the company, but it was a herbal blend mix. And I just didn't really like these. I thought it just tasted like really low quality weed. So why would I mix my low quality weed with what I thought was my good quality weed? And this is just a legal herb blend mix. I can try and give you a look at what it looks like. It just kind of looks like a pea, and you just kind of use that to mix into your joints. It has a kind of earthy, kind of piney smell to it, so it shouldn't really overpower the joints you're having. But what I found was that it just kind of tastes like you're mixing a low quality weed into what I at the time would have said was a good quality weed, so it didn't really make that much sense to me. And that's kind of what kind of pushed me over the edge. I was like, if I'm not going to find anything, I'm not the type of person who felt comfortable mixing like different teas and herbal things into it. And watching a lot of reviewers and just listening to what they said, let's just take the plunge into the world of pure clean joints. And what I will say is you kind of instantly you start to notice a less of a reliance on having to smoke. You don't wake up in the morning wanting a joint. You kind of fine, you feel okay, you feel all good. And it starts to make you realize that you don't need to smoke all the time. You can have one joint in the day and feel nice throughout the entire day, and maybe have one joint in the evening and it makes you feel really good. You don't need to be smoking every single hour, and that's kind of what I was doing. I had a joint lit every single hour, and people that know me know I smoke a lot, and that's generally wasn't the weed I was smoking a lot of, it was the tobacco I needed. And that's the difficult thing to kind of get through to people, is that once you quit tobacco in it, you really start to enjoy the weed a lot more. You enjoy it for what it's for, the effects that you're getting from it, rather than just the nicotine rush you need from it. And you don't realize that you need that nicotine rush until you quit the nicotine and you quit the tobacco in it. You really don't understand that. And it took me a little while to wake up in the morning and start to realize that I don't need to smoke a joint today, I'll be fine, or I don't need to smoke a joint until a bit later. And that will then take me on to the enjoyabilities and the kind of medical journey again, and the reason I can now happily not have to have a joint every single day, and I can enjoy when I get some really good quality weed, I get some really good quality weed like this Deep Genetic Sangria. I only got 3.5 of this, and I got this about 2 weeks ago, but I still have a decent amount left. I had 2 joints from this, and both of those joints were about a week apart, because I've realized that I can vape it, I've had my medical, and what I've realized now is that I get a lot more enjoyment about just finding and enjoying some really good quality stuff. And I don't mind vaping that medical stuff because it gives me the effects I need for the day. It helps me with my anxiety and depression, and then I can enjoy this really good quality stuff. But yeah, that wasn't really as in depth as I wanted to go, but I hope that that helps somebody. It's just understanding that you don't need the tobacco. It's a reliance on the nicotine. It's not gonna make your weed last any longer because you're gonna in turn smoke less weed. It's not gonna stretch out your weed at all because you can just roll smaller joints and you will enjoy that joint, and you will start to realize when you have some really bad quality stuff because it will burn awfully, and you'll start to realize when you have some really good quality stuff because you'll have a lovely oil ring and it will be really like light in color, or the ash will be really light in color, and it'll be really tasty as well. You really start to enjoy the terps that you get from weed, the flavor that you're getting from it, because in turn the tobacco has a strong flavor and you're masking the terp flavor and the good quality weed flavor with that tobacco. So yeah, I really hope that did help somebody. I've been the Ghetto Hippie. Guys, thank you very much. Give it a like, comment and share if you can. And remember guys, stay Ghetto Hippies. Peace.